last meeting, Reverend Coleman spoke about how the press has really been hard on McClinton and Ms. Robertson. And I stand with McClinton and Ms. Robertson wholeheartedly. They're doing a good job. We got a lot of work to do here, and we're gonna have to come together and do it. Miss Robertson and Marco McClinton are really fighting for justice for all of West Memphis, not just the east end of town, for all of West Memphis. And I stand with them. I want it plain, and that's all I got. Yeah.
Okay. If I may, since you've indicated that, I won't argue the fact that everyone in the city is supposed to be treated fairly. I agree with that 100%. My only problem comes in the fact that the council members don't do that themselves. They only seem to want to speak up when there's only certain people involved and not everybody. When we were sitting on this council and running for election, there was a simple question asked, and it was very simple for me. It's the human race. We're all part of the human race, and we all should be treated equally.
That's right.
And I would ask that the council members to please do that. Don't segregate one race over another any longer. It is time for us to put that to the past, and let's deal with the issues we have at hand in a prudent, professional manner. That was my request to this council as of today.
Right. I'd like to ask a question because I think I'm getting a little confused. What kind of segregation are you talking about?
Situations that have risen where we've been extremely quick to go before the press. We've never gone through sitting down and talking with administration. We've never gone in to bother to find out what their side of the story was. We immediately just call the press. We have to have a little conference. And it's only been when there was American Africans involved. I've never seen any council member hold a press conference over any other race that's in this city. So from my standpoint, I'm asking that you treat everybody fair and not segregate one over the other.
Well, I would like to answer that. Of course, the press usually seek us out. The only time I've ever held a press conference was in the Miss Helen Harris case. I can truthfully sit here and say that I've never leaked anything to the press. I've never called them for anything. And the reason being for the Miss Helen Harris case is because I had a police report. When Mr. O'Clair came on TV, Officer O'Clair came on TV, and he said that Miss Harris had dragged him about 5 feet in her car. The police report had said something different. Those stories were very conflicting. I had been asked to do a conference prior to that. I don't like for my city to look bad because this is a city that I represent.
Correct. Had
Mr. O'Clair not come on TV, neither would I have called that press conference. All the other times you have seen me on TV, the press has sought me out. You cannot imagine all of the calls that I have not answered. So we're talking about fairness and talking about knowing the facts. You have not spoken to me about whether or not I've called press. I have not. That's the only time, and I did it to uphold Ms. Harris's name because I know that the police report said one thing, and when the officer got on TV, he said something else. So that was why I came out in defense of that. But otherwise, I have turned down many phone calls from the media because all they're wanting is a story. Now, if other than African Americans, we've come out on 3 occasions. Deontay Farrell, out of all of the arrests that have been made, out of all the people that have called wanting me, this incident that happened on OK Street, people are calling me, wanting me to call the press. I'm not going to do that. I know nothing about that situation, none whatsoever. So to accuse me of calling the press, to accuse Mr. McClinton of calling the press, that is absolutely hideous. Why would I want to do that? I don't want negativism about our city. People have called me about this 401 North OK situation. I don't know anything about that. The other situations, the Deontay Farrell, I talked to Miss Farrell about the situation. The media was just hounding me. The other gentleman, Mr. Holly, I had information regarding that. So it's not like I haven't, when I talk to the media, I have information regarding it, either a police report or something of that nature. So if Caucasians were to call and ask me to help, yes, sir, I'll be there.
Well, like I said, prior to all of us being sworn in, I made one request of everybody on this council. Wait till an investigation's over, and then look at the facts and make decisions from there on what needs to be done and work with the administration to accomplish those goals. And that's all I ask of anybody, is try to follow that procedure in order to keep things fair across the board, so for everybody.
Also, Mr. Catt, I'd like to add, I do agree with you on one thing, that we all need to communicate and on all issues. But when you come to commission means the proper place where these issues to be addressed, and the person that you need to address these issues with that can give you a better clarification and understanding doesn't never come, you don't get that type of communication. Also, you said that we always talk about issues or bring the press in, I guess, when it's a black or white issue. And that's not true, because I can stand as a young man and I have refuted and stood up against black on black violence in my community by having rallies that spoke right here on this council for years, have spoke in the school every year, have started gentlemen's clubs in the East, Big Brothers program, walking and talking to some of the young men that may be calling this problem. Me and Alderman Monday in the Imperial Home talking with young men, we always do that. But our newspaper really does not report those type of issues, because what they want to convey to the people and the mass people of Clinton County is that we just talking about black and white issues. So for anyone ever said that we just talking about black and white issues and never address the responsibility of the African American community is wrong. And I have to disagree with you. For you to say what you just said was wrong, because I felt that you know the facts. We can all talk. And you know that we definitely do that. I mean, when it's an issue, but when it comes down to the police department, I support my police department. I mean, I'm in favor of community-oriented policing. I have never voted against anything against the police department. And I want to work with the police department. I want us all to work with the police department and the community to come together to fight crime in our communities. But if you're not going to have the person at the meeting and he's directed not to come to the meeting, how are you to communicate?
And I would like to say as well, we're talking about, I promised to be back at work before 2. We were talking about investigations that are going on. How is it that the police officers can come on TV and talk about some kind of incident that has happened if an investigation is going on? To me, that is wrong as well. And of course, the administrator of that department, to me, of course, has committed malfeasance of office, and I know the mayor has blatantly stated that he will never discharge him, so I'm not going to deal with that issue, but I know that that was malfeasance of office. I'm not an attorney or anything of that nature, but knowing what malfeasance of office is and my limited knowledge, I know he committed that. But to allow officers to come on TV and say something contrary to what the police report had said with that officer's signature on it, how do you address that?
We do that in commission. That's how we address that. And that's all I'm asking anybody, is let's work as a unified group to try to resolve the issues within this city. So that's what I'm asking for.
We have a motion and a second on the floor to adjourn. All in favor by aye. Aye. Opposed, we are adjourned.